Hey guys, welcome back to the Junk Food Zombie channel. I got a little series of basic firearm stuff for beginners for you guys. They're going to be short videos, each one on a specific thing like grip and stance to keep them in nice little bite-sized chunks for you. Today we're going to do grip, we're going to do semi-automatics and revolvers in this video, and I'm going to show you how to do it properly. First thing we need to do is check the firearm. Chamber is empty. Mag well is empty. The magazine is empty. This gun is safe to handle. Here we go. Okay, what we need to do with a modern semi-automatic handgun, or even an older one like a 1911, this one's a polymer handgun and it's striker fired. You want to get your hand up nice and high. You'll see this spot right up here. You want to get up right up in there, nice and high as you can get in there, without this slide making contact with your hand. Now, this is called a thumbs forward grip. The way it works is you adjust what would be a single hand grip and move your thumb up. You take your left hand and you take the palm of your hand, the back here, and you place it in here to fill in this space. You take your fingers on your left hand and you wrap them around your fingers on your right hand underneath the trigger guard. Sometimes you'll see people do this that's a little bit older. They really don't teach you to do that anymore. Some people swear by it. If it works for you, that's fine. But I find that this kind of doesn't really give you much control. Even on a squared off trigger guard, it doesn't give you a whole lot of control compared to being able to really grip with your other hand. And you'll put one thumb forward like this and one on top of the other. You don't want to get this too close to the gun because you don't want the slide rubbing against your thumb and getting all caught up in your controls. So you just want to get it nice and firmly gripped. Now you'll also see in some TV shows, you'll see them do this, the old teacup grip. The only thing that does for you is it allows you to steady your hand a little bit. It does nothing for recoil. There's no real advantage to it. It's really obsolete, so don't do that. It's not going to help you. So get your thumbs forward grip nice and proper, your hand up top. And the way your hands work is your right hand, or your strong hand, if you're left-handed it would be opposite, is going to squeeze the front and back of the grip. You're going to squeeze forward and backwards. Your left hand is going to squeeze left and right. It's going to squeeze sideways. So you got one hand squeezing this way and one hand squeezing this way. And that gives you control 360 degrees on that grip. And your trigger finger, you're going to use the pad of your finger and gentle press of the trigger, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, another grip you'll see for semi-automatic pistols, and this is a little older, but it does seem to work pretty well, is you take what would be the normal single-handed grip, and you'll take your hand very similar to this, very similar to the thumbs forward grip, and you'll just cross your thumbs. And that works well. I shot that way for the longest time. I only recently started shooting this way. I feel I can kind of keep the gun a little straighter this way, but this works very well because you can get a good grip on it, and it's the same as a single-handed grip, but you're just kind of adding a hand to it instead of adjusting the grip to add the second hand. You'll see some people who've been shooting a very long time. Hickok 45, you'll see he crosses his thumbs. He doesn't use a thumbs forward grip, and it works very well for a lot of people. You do what works best for you. If you shoot better this way, you can shoot faster, more accurately this way, keeping your shots on target. That's great. If this works better for you, that's great. Whatever works best for you is fine. You got to practice, and that's the way you'll find out. When shooting a semi-automatic, never do this. Never, because when this comes back, it comes back really hard, really fast, and this will cut you open badly. I've seen it happen to people. This is a no-no. On a revolver, I don't advise it either, because you want to be more consistent, and if you're doing this on a revolver and you grab a semi-automatic and you're used to doing that and you do this, you can hurt yourself. Don't ever do that on a semi-automatic. No thumbs forward on a revolver. No crossing over on a semi-automatic. Bad, bad, bad. Okay. Cool. Now, one thing to consider, say for instance on this SIG, a gun with very different controls than a polymer pistol. Polymer pistol generally has, a striker-fired pistol generally has a slide lock and sometimes a thumb safety. Now on the SIGs, let's check this one. It's safe. Now we can do what we're going to do. The controls on a SIG are very different. Where most guns have a slide lock, SIG has a decocker. When your hammer's back, you push that down and it decocks the hammer. So now it can be carried safely without having to worry about a light single action trigger pull. Your slide release on the SIG is back here instead of up here. So when you use the older grip where your thumbs are crossed, they kind of stay out of the way of things. When you use a thumbs forward grip, it puts this thumb up on that control. So you have to be conscious of that. If you're shooting a SIG and you get to that last round when where your slide is supposed to be locked back by the magazine follower, but you got your thumb on that, it might not. You won't know you're empty in your magazine, and you'll pull the trigger again and you'll get nothing. So what you need to do is practice both ways. If you can get your thumbs forward grip on a SIG and keep your thumb away from that slide lock so it'll lock back on your last round, you're good to go. It's what works for you, as I said before, with anything else. Always what works for you. You have to consider your handgun and where the controls are and how that works for you. Because if you find out you're empty and you're the type of person that reloads a mag and hits the slide release, you're not going to get anything in the chamber because your slide's already forward. So these are things to consider, but your basic idea is to watch what you're doing with your controls. You don't want to mess up your controls or hurt your hand. Lastly, we'll go to revolvers. Check your revolver, you open the cylinder, and all of your chambers are empty. Now, a revolver is different. You won't be doing a thumbs forward grip with a revolver. Not if you know how to shoot a revolver, at least. The problem with a thumbs forward grip with a revolver is your own safety. If you like your fingers, you'll grip it like you would a single-handed grip. You'll want to get up high on it just like you do with a semi-automatic, not so high that you'll get in the way of the hammer, but just high enough. And same thing with your left hand as you would with a semi-automatic. You're going to wrap your fingers around the other side, but instead of this, you are always going to cross your thumbs with a revolver and keep your thumbs back here. Reason that is your forcing cone here at the back of your barrel and the front of your cylinder. There's a very small gap between them. It's only a few thousandths of an inch. You're not even going to probably see it on the camera. But when you fire this handgun, a large blast comes out of there, especially if you're shooting .357 Magnum, which you very well may do if it's a self-defense handgun. And when that blast comes out of there, it comes out up, to the sides, down. If you got your thumb here, you can hurt your thumb very badly. You can burn it badly. You can actually cut the flesh on the end of your thumb. It's a serious blast. I mean, it's an explosion happening in here. So you never want to use that grip with a revolver, especially if you're the type of person who has long hands, or large hands and long thumbs. My thumb is way forward of where it should be to be safe. So revolvers, always 2 hands, cross your thumbs. And your trigger finger, unlike a semi-automatic where they generally advise you using the pad of your finger, you use the first joint in your finger over that trigger. And that's how because it gives you a little more leverage, because a double action revolver's got a heavier trigger. Now, some people will shoot a semi-automatic that way, and that's fine. If that works for you, you pull the trigger straighter that way, and you shoot more accurately, that's fine. I'm just showing you what your basic knowledge as what works for most people. And that's all there is to it. So, I hope that helped you guys. Remember, the revolver, cross the thumbs. It's for your own safety. I hope that helped, and we're going to do some other videos on this, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Okay, one thing I wanted to say, and just add real quickly before people try to hang me for saying it's okay to cross your thumbs when you're shooting a semi-automatic. A reason that works for a lot of people is if you're the type of person who shoots semi-automatic and semi-automatic only, thumbs forward grip is really the way to go. It's going to be your best choice. It's really going to give you the best grip. Usually. Some people are different. For other people, like myself and some other people, who shoot a lot of revolver and a lot of semi-automatic, what crossing your thumbs does for you when you're shooting a semi-automatic is it gives you consistency with your grip. You're shooting your revolver with your thumbs crossed. You really kind of have to. You're shooting your semi-automatic with your thumbs crossed. Basically the same grip. The grip shape is a little bit different, but you're getting the same basic grip on all of your guns that way, instead of having to have a separate grip for your revolver from your semi-automatic. Now that's not a problem. Like I said, I shoot thumbs forward with my semi-automatics and I cross my thumbs with my revolvers. But if you're shooting a good amount of revolver and you're shooting a lot of thumbs forward with your semi-automatic and you're going to end up mistakenly carrying that over to a revolver and putting your thumbs forward, it's not a bad idea to possibly cross your thumbs. And if you practice that way with a semi-automatic, then you'll shoot just fine. So before people going crazy about me, oh, you can't do that with a semi-automatic, there are reasons why people do it, and I just kind of wanted to point that out, and I hadn't thought of it before, so I'm adding it on now. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks. Gonna be a ladybug on my gun. Hi, ladybug. Let us begin. First, we start by removing the ladybug from our handgun. Excuse me, ladybug. Bye-bye. Okay. Firstly, we always start by safety checking the firearm. Oh, dang it, dude. I look like a spaz.